Right guys, I'm still in the phase of testing, so take nothing here as 100%, but seriously, have Armour Regen builds just died? I'm sure some of you have, and I'm sure some of you are working on it or trying to get around to it, but the Umbra initiative set, yeah, the Armour Regen on this is just crazy, and the damage output it allows you to do isn't that bad either. From the playing around and testing that I'm doing, and you can see me doing some of it here in this video, like in terms of damage output, I'm doing a good 20 to 30%. In some cases, I'm doing double the typical Armour Regen one-man army builds damage, and I have some pretty good Armour Regen going on as well. So like, I don't know, I kind of feel like this is absolutely not going to be probably a meta set, and it is definitely not meta the way I have this set up, but mechanically it works fine. It's actually fun to play. It suits my playstyle, bit of chaos, running around, jumping from location to location. Sometimes I'm in cover, sometimes I'm not. It suits my playstyle absolutely perfectly. So at the moment, for how I have this set up, I'm genuinely really enjoying this, along with the fact that I'm also running perfect last cannon, and I don't feel like I'm running perfect last cannon. Like, healing is so easy. I just stand up for a little bit, like 5 seconds, and then I get back into cover, and I will instantly, near enough, get half of my health or my armor back in, well, it's so damn quick. Like, it's almost comical. And you can see the Armour Regen just ticking off now. Look, it's just sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, Armour Regen kicking in. Admittedly, I am also rocking Le Memento just because help out. But generally speaking, like, I'm finding zero flaws with this gear set. I do think the chest and the backpack needed something else other than what they've got. I kind of feel like the set itself as it is with the 4-piece is perfectly fine. The chest and backpack to me just feel completely redundant, but we'll go over that in a little bit. Overall, the damage output is pretty damn good. It's not the highest AR damage I've ever done. It's not the greatest amount of DPS, but it's more than enough to deal with things. On heroic with like 3, probably could easily put all 5 directives on. It's not really a challenge, but it kind of forces you to play a little bit tactically, to pop out of cover when you need it, and to get into cover when you're about to die. And the end result is pretty damn fun. And as it stands right now, I am pretty convinced this will kill pretty much any Armour Regen build. Not that Armour Regen builds are like meta, but if they had a meta, I'm going to argue it's Umbra, just because the amount of the damage it's potentially able to give you with potentially different setups and other builds. But the survivability of it as well. Like, I'm running glass cannon and I'm able to just flop around like a fish, and I'm doing absolutely perfectly fine. Like, oh no, I took some damage, I'll just sit in cover for like 3 seconds, like, leave me alone. Like, my damage is perfectly capable of taking on Black Tusk elites through the manhunt. Not sure if you've noticed, but they're a little bit, they're not quite legendary, but they're not quite heroic either. They do hit pretty damn hard. Like, survivability wise, I'm fine. Like, I keep saying it, but I'm actually surprised that for all the flaws of TU16 and the Season 10 released, I am genuinely surprised by the Umbra set. And I'm hoping, I kind of feel like it just needs a tad bit of a buff. The Armour Regen's fine, I just feel like it needs just a little bit more damage. Like, maybe I have built it wrong for the purpose of my testing. I'm running a Gruppo chest with glass cannon and Memento backpack, but overall it's pretty damn good. Now, I have had a few people, because I've been talking in Discord to a lot of other people while testing all of these things and etc, etc. And I have had a few people kind of get confused as to how it works. Basically, you build stacks in lieu. So while you're in cover, you will build up 10 stacks per second to a max of 50. When you get out of cover, those stacks that you built up while in cover now become of use. You can't use them, or they're not active while you're in cover. When you get out of cover, the in cover stats work. So out of cover with these stacks, you get plus 50% critical hit chance, it's 1% per stack, and 0.3% fire rate, which is a maximum of 15%. Now the armor regen is 0.8 per stack. So I've already got it built up because I was out of cover. The moment I get into cover, the armor regen stacks now play. Look at it, look. Pretty much like instantly. Well, not full armor, but I'm at half armor. Look, I'll do it again. Just build up a few other stacks because I'm out of cover, so I'm building up my armor regen. The moment I get into cover, that armor regen comes into play. Look at it. That is insane. Admittedly, with the way I've got it set up, it will only do half of my armor, but it's not hard to sort of bounce around in and out of cover to maximize the use of both the damage and the healing stats. Just to show now, I am utilizing the damage stats, which like I said was 50% crit damage and 15% fire rate. I'm using the Carbine 7 for this. It's quite a good weapon for testing. I'm also running strained on it, so essentially I have an extra 100% critical hit damage, and it puts in work. It's not a meta AR build, but it puts in work and it's completely capable of running heroic. So just to show, this is what I'm running. Like I said, running gunner for the 10% armor on kill, which is helping me out. Memento at max stacks as well is obviously it's like, along with this build, I would almost argue Memento is best in slot for the extra damage, like passively, and the armor regen. But the overall effect of the Umbra initiative is, honestly, I'm generally enjoying it. I don't think this is going to be a top of the line, top range build. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be doing speed runs with this. It could potentially, if you rolled it to blue cores, because you're getting extra armor, and then along with the armor regen, that could be very useful in PvP, I imagine. However, there is one thing that I'm really wanting to test, not PvP. The PvP is not my bag. I will leave that to my betters. But there is one thing I'm really wanting to test. Backfire with Umbra. That at base is essentially 250% critical hit damage. If you roll Hasbro on a few things, you probably won't need it everywhere, but run round, shoot some stuff, reload, get your bleed, hide in cover, let your armor regen overtake the bleed. Problem solved. We might actually now have a gear set that can make 100% use of backfire without having to deal with the bleed. Could also potentially run this as like a run and gun tank build. A skill build as well, a hybrid skill build. Like, the potential for this set is actually pretty damn unique. It helps you tank and it helps you deal damage. It's not the tankiest, it's not the most damaging. It is a very, very solid middle ground, and I'm actually looking forward to testing Umbra initiative for a good while, figuring out weird and wacky builds. I'm also thinking clutch. Like, Jesus Christ, clutch. Maybe clutch could potentially make a comeback with this build. It's not, again, probably not going to be meta, but it would fit in very, very nicely. Just clutch and 4-piece Umbra right there. That is 25% critical hit chance, and the amount of potential that you would have for staying alive with the armor regen capabilities of Umbra, as well as the regeneration capabilities of clutch. I'm actually excited. Oh my god, if the game would stay alive for more than 5 minutes. Anyway, have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.